Hello everybody, Terry Carl Joyidian here with special guest Brian Early here again.
Hello, I'm Brian Early, and I am a certified integrative nutrition coach and a personal trainer.
Yes, and we are combining laws 27 and 28 today so that Brian can give his input again, his nutritional expertise. This will wrap up the nutrition section of Game Changers. The first law is feed the little, I changed the word because I'm not putting any swear words in here, the little guys in your gut. And law 28, if you get toxins from only nature, you can get nutrients from only food. I still don't understand that title, but we're going to explain what he talks about in those two laws, starting with the gut. Dave Asprey of Game Changers talks about how the bacteria in your gut affects many different things, even your fat, your tiredness, your slowness. It can give you extra energy. You can be depressed. He talks more about that. I'll get to that in a minute. So he says it's really important to treat your gut well. You have a gut microbiome that includes bacteria, viruses, fungus, other microscopic creatures, and we've had this kind of relationship for years. We've worked well together. But with overuse of antibiotics, we've killed off some of the bacteria. This is actually also linked to obesity. And 75% of antibiotics that are made in the US are actually fed to cattle to fatten them up. So there's your link there again to obesity, because we actually want our animals that are going to be our meat fat, and that's what we're doing to ourselves when we intake antibiotics. And he says, interestingly enough, artificial sugars have the same effect on our gut and can also make us fat. So beware. We're always really nervous when we see foods that say less fat or no sugar. We're like, I don't want any of that.
Yeah, the zero sugar added. It's like, okay, well that's great, but what's in it? What's making it sweet? You could have certain things like stevia or monk fruit that can sweeten things up naturally. But a lot of times you look at the back and it's like sucralose or aspartame, and yeah, those are no bueno.
We don't want those. Yeah, so he said pay attention to your food and how your food is fed. Look for grass-fed. And also just be aware, because for grain-fed animals, not only do they have those antibiotics going on, but they also may be eating grains that are treated by Roundup, which he says is also an antibiotic. So they're everywhere. And then again, he talks a little bit more about what your gut affects. Metabolism, your skin, your digestion, your weight also is very connected to your brain. So it's very important what goes on in your belly or your nut, whatever, in there. So what can you do? It says nurture your garden. Plant good things in there. Avoid processed foods, factory animals, grain-fed meat instead of the grass-fed meat. GMO foods, because he says sometimes they are treated by chemicals. Take antibiotics only when you need to. Eat foods that nurture your gut bacteria, including polyphenols, which we talked about in the last video. And he also mentions prebiotic fiber. And he doesn't talk about prebiotic supplements, but I thought maybe you could talk a little bit about prebiotic. And also about the difference between prebiotic and probiotic, because I get them confused all the time.
Yeah, so probiotics are the good, healthy gut bacteria, the flora in your intestines. And those are what we've been talking about, the healthy bacteria, the microbes in there. And the prebiotic are fibers that you find in food which feed the probiotics. So,
They feed.
Yep. You have to keep them well fed and with the right types of food, because taking in the artificial sweeteners and other things can kill them off. And if you take in too much sugar, then you might be having candida overgrowth, and we definitely don't want that. So make sure to get healthy prebiotics into your body in the forms of plants or in a supplement.
And he mentioned some foods that are good for that: avocados, almonds, grass-fed meat, veggies. He's very big on veggies. And I know also that Shaklee has probiotics and prebiotics supplements, and also, do they still have it in their shakes?
No. So it's just in either the capsule for the Optiflora DI, the little pearl for the regular Optiflora, which are also probiotics, and then the Optiflora prebiotic. So it comes in like a little powder that you would add to your drinks.
Gotcha. Oh, then he says here specifically for prebiotic fiber, Jerusalem artichokes, jicama, dandelion greens, onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, radicchio. So consider that. He also says consider a Viome test, which you mentioned in a previous video, which looks at what's in your gut, and eat fermented foods like kimchi, cultured yogurt, sauerkraut, and kombucha. I'm here to talk about prebiotics and probiotics. So we're going to go on to Law 28, which is that title that was long. That's about getting nutrients from only food. Maybe. I don't know. Because it's also, he talked about, actually it's mostly about supplementation. So I think he was being sarcastic. I think that's why I didn't understand. I think it went over my head. So, excuse me. So a lot of what he talks about in the first half of this chapter, this law, is about telomeres and how you want to keep them long because that's good for longevity, for your life. And it affects everything with cell division, which is involved in a lot of different diseases. Would you like to talk about telomeres?
Well, we did cover it in the last video, so if people
Again.
Yes.
Watch the last video, but we're going to talk about it again in case you missed the last video.
Yes, so telomeres are basically the end caps of your DNA, and the longer they are, the longer your lifespan may be, and the less susceptible to disease you may be. There's a really good study done by Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, which showed that people with longer telomeres had better health biomarkers and longer longevity. La 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 la.
La! And I think that's connected to polyphenols again, isn't it? Polyphenols?
Yes, resveratrol. Yep, polyphenols. Yep.
Okay, and also he talks a lot about vitamin K. Now he talks about vitamin K2. Brian says that vitamin K2 is a byproduct of vitamin K, normal.
Yeah, so you can intake, if you want to supplement with vitamin K2, that's fine. But regular vitamin K, actually K2 is not approved to be called vitamin K, as I forget some FDA rulings. But vitamin K1 can be converted into K2 in your body. You have bacteria in your body that will convert it to K2 to be used. So if you want to take supplemental K2, you can, but regular vitamin K is just as well.
And Dave Asprey, as I've mentioned before in other laws, just loves experts. He wants to know everything he possibly can to get as far as he possibly can, to be as healthy as he possibly can. And one of these dentists that he was studying, these experts, I wrote down his name and I don't know.
Weston Price?
Thank you. Wow, that's good. Yeah, right there. Was studying all over the world and found that people who had these really great teeth had high levels of vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin K in their systems. Even though they weren't brushing, they weren't flossing, they didn't have dentists, they had fantastic teeth. They had an awesome variety of food they were eating and had really great nutritional levels. And so he actually stopped drilling and filling teeth, and he started treating his patients nutritionally and found that the open cavities were actually sealing over, and he took pictures. So he was able to help his patients heal naturally. Their bodies were healing themselves. That was pretty cool. And he says a good source of vitamin K is butter from grass-fed cows, which he calls ghee. My sister loves that stuff. And he talks about the importance of vitamin K in connection with calcium, because people sometimes who have a calcium deficiency actually have calcium that's going to the wrong places, which I was learning more about. So the calcium is being taken from their bones, from their teeth. Maybe they have bad teeth, they have osteoporosis, but they have calcium in other places they're not supposed to be in, like their arteries and their kidneys and their My battery was going out there for a second. Hopefully we'll make it through. I'll wrap this up. So he says having a good balance of vitamins, particularly having vitamin K, can help you get calcium to the right places. And he wraps up by saying that supplementation is just really good overall for your body. It's great for mental health. There were people who were treated in prison who were able to convert their psychology based on a nutritional program. Also just depression and other types of psychological challenges can be improved with nutritional therapy. He says even if you don't have mental challenges, you can still really benefit, and high performers across the board really love supplementation. He suggests these particular ones. Thought Brian could briefly touch on these too. He suggests vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin A, magnesium, omega-3s, which we talked about last time, copper, zinc, iodine, tyrosine, B12 as covering your bases. And he also just suggests polyphenols and seeing a functional medicine doctor if you like, and learning more about your nutritional levels and possible options for you. I'd like to talk about any of that, but I just threw at you.
Yeah, there's a lot of them there. Yeah, so basically just getting a solid multivitamin, which covers a lot of the bases, and then whatever else you feel you need to supplement with. If you feel like you want to supplement with polyphenols, like a resveratrol product, or your omega-3s, there's plenty of stuff out there, and the Shaklee Vitalizer and the Life Strips can handle that. So Life Strip, especially since it has the resveratrol compound Vivix in it, and then adding a probiotic, and that covers all the bases there. And for the like tyrosine and leucine that we talked about last video, the Life Shakes. So Life Shakes, Life Strips, and that pretty much covers everything that he spoke about in there.
So thank you, Brian, for filling in the gaps here.
You're welcome.
Know more about all this sciencey, awesome nutrition stuff, and that's going to wrap things up for this section. I don't remember what the next section is about. I think it's something about being happy. I don't know. And I'm interested to know, I haven't really invited you to comment before, but I'd love to know which vitamins you're taking, particularly if there are extra supplements you're taking. Like I'm currently starting to take more vitamin D because I noticed that I'm really affected by the lack of sun exposure in the Midwest.
Just about everybody is.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I particularly, like, I love having the sun on me. I love having lots of light. So I think, different people need different things. He talks about, Dave Asprey talks about the baseline. Brian was just going over the basic multivitamin, but sometimes you need extra stuff. Different people have different diets and different ways their body works. So I'd love to know what you're taking. And we will see you again I'll see you again. Maybe I'll invite Brian in again. Depends on what's coming up for future laws. If you missed any of the previous laws, particularly the one that leads into this one about nutrition, check it out in this playlist. And take care, y'all. Much love and many blessings to you all. Bye now.
I'll hit the button.